Hello everyone, my name is Anne Elder and this is my ECS 210 digital story about my journey throughout the semester. I want to begin by sharing my frustration of how I felt in the beginning of the semester. Being in my third year of the Arts Ed program, I'm doing my pre-internship, and I'm already busy as it is. I'm finally in a classroom. I'm learning how to actually teach my own lessons to kids. So it's a busy semester on top of everything else that is expected. So to find out that I had to do blog posts responding to a reading every week, I was frustrated because it was another task I needed to do. But that attitude changed extremely quickly after realizing what we were responding to. In the first day of classes, we were asked, what is curriculum? And with my partner and myself, from what I recall, is we discussed how curriculum was a guideline for teachers to refer to know how to teach their students in certain subjects. So it's very general and very literal on how you look at it. Boy, did that change. Curriculum now, from what I understand, is something way more than what's listed on paper and what's listed on the website. It's what's behind the lines. It's what we see behind the wording in the curriculum. It's how we look at it. It's how we use it. It's how it's prepared for students. It's how students use it. It's how parents use it. It's so much more than what I initially thought it was. You know, we've discussed in the beginning with our blogs about what common sense was. We developed a philosophy of education. We even had a moment where we got to critique a part of the curriculum and fully dig deep down into the meanings behind it and kind of the blurred lines and, you know, what might be changed, what should be changed, what's good, what's not so great, and there are parts in there that definitely could be changed for sure. It has changed so much in years. You know, in the beginning of how curriculum was, it was prepared for the good student. Now, the good student is generally someone who has high marks, has money, so white, male, and privileged. These classes made you feel uncomfortable and, you know, really challenged you to think beyond of the blurred lines that are there. This idea of the good student, boggled my mind only because I never thought of it that way. I'm a white woman here completing my education degree with a high school diploma, a college diploma, and now here a university degree. It's just amazing how much things have changed and in such a good way. But there's still a lot of work to do. And this leads into the use of treaty education and incorporating that within your curriculum. And, you know, Indigenous culture and history is a big part of Canada's history. I mean, there were events that took place that should have never taken place. And there were events that occurred that definitely could have been approached a lot different than it actually was. You know, so there's a lot of work that we need to do. We have this relation in the beginning of time when first contact was made, it was here, and then we've slowly come together. But see, our relationship isn't together, and it's nor is it separate. We're meeting in the middle. And our relationships with Indigenous culture and history and people should be connected and should be together as a whole. The importance of treaty education is just that, is connecting one another to develop these strong and powerful relationships and becoming knowledgeable about the history that took place and the culture that Indigenous people have to offer. There's so much to learn. And that is why we need it in our curriculum, and that is why we need it in the classroom all the time. I think that there are still some teachers out there in the field, as well as some who are future educators who think this way, this is my opinion, that they have that question, well, why do we need to do this? Well, is it that important? Do we really need to incorporate this in our students' learning? And the answer is yes. Yes, it's important. We need to have that in students' education. So then they get that response and they take it as, okay, I'll have one block in my day or in my week for treaty ed, and that's when we'll do it. That's the only time we'll do it, because at least I have it on the board. We're going to do the education and I'm covering all the outcomes, that's it. But in my opinion, I feel that it should be something that is incorporated in all lessons, in all day teaching. It's so easy to do. You can practice oral tradition. You can make subtle moments in your lessons and incorporate that Indigenous culture and history. For example, in my pre-internship with my partner, we decided to teach about Remembrance Day. So of course we wanted to hit the history. We wanted to talk about the poppy, the meaning behind the poppy. And as we were planning, we both were kind of talking and we're saying, okay, this lesson looks great. Can we incorporate some Indigenous culture within this? And the answer was, of course we can. So what we did was we searched online, and there's actually a specific poppy that represents Indigenous soldiers. And so we added that in our lesson. We had a subtle moment where the students learned that there's a specific poppy for Indigenous culture, and then we moved on. We didn't have a whole lesson about it, and we didn't neglect it. We just added it in there, and then that was that. I believe that if you do that more often in students' learning, that question of why do we need to do this goes away, and the new question of, ooh, can we learn some more about this, comes into place, and it becomes more natural. Or in my future classroom, I'm going to definitely be incorporating treaty education in all of my day teaching. It's an important thing to do, and I think that all teachers must do it. Now, at our last day of classes, we were asked to look at some metaphors for curriculum. And there were metaphors. Curriculum is like an ocean. Curriculum is like an iceberg. Curriculum is like a layered cake. There's one that was curriculum was like someone's first beer, which I thought was funny. And my group, we said curriculum is like a Rubik's Cube. Now, Rubik's Cubes are messy, complicated. There's millions of ways to do it, and it's not easy, but it can be achieved. Curriculum is exactly that, I think. Curriculum is messy. It's complicated. There's so many areas to touch on and to know and to understand. There are a million ways to achieve one goal out of the curriculum. It's not easy. It's always going to be a challenge, but it's up to you if you want to challenge yourself or not. It's not easy, and it's not hard. At the end of the day, that's how teachers should look at it. I think in the education profession, nothing is ever going to be easy. Nothing's ever going to come hand in hand. It's that teacher who will be able to accept that challenge and accept that process and develop it into something. When we look at a process, it's kind of more important than the finished product. It's like creating an art piece. It's creating that art piece. That final product will look great, spectacular, and probably look the way you wanted. But that process of how you got there is the learning process. That is where you're learning. You're not going to learn from that final product. You're learning from the process of it. Overall, this class has changed my opinions on curriculum big time. I've always been open-minded to begin with, but this just opens my mind even more. I have a better understanding of curriculum and how to incorporate a proper curriculum within my class, and touch on all of those different topics that are in place. And it's allowing me to even practice it myself while I was in my internship. I took those understandings that I had from the lectures and the group discussions and seminars, and I practiced it in my own teaching, and it turned out great. And so at the end of the day, I hope that we all carry that open mind and we all accept those challenges, and we all are successful. And at the end of the day, you want to be successful, and you want to have those students learning as much as you can, because they are our future generation, and you are molding that future generation. Thank you so much for watching this video. It is much longer than I had expected, but sometimes you just need to talk about things and you need to let it go. You can never cut things short when it's something as important as this. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a wonderful Christmas break.